Hello, everyone. My name is HACC. I'd like to welcome everyone to the tour today on behalf of the Hellenic-American Chamber of Commerce. We're very happy to present this tour for many reasons, and not the least of which is it shines a light on a period of Greek art that I think a lot of people, casual art lovers, are not very familiar with, and I think was a wonderful effort by the organizers. The title of the exhibit is "Society of Persons: The Depiction of the Human Form from Post-Byzantine Art to Contemporary Greek Painting," and it was a very unique exhibit, and I think you'll enjoy today's tour very much. I would like to introduce our distinguished guests. First, let me say that the exhibit was curated by Dr. Olga Mentzafou from the National Gallery, and it was created and organized by Ambassador Panos Kalogeropoulos, the former Greek ambassador to the Holy See, in a special collaboration with Maria Migadi and Eleni Kostopoulou, who is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs at the Embassy of Greece to Rome. And our guests include His Excellency Nikos Dendias, who's the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Greece, His Excellency Ambassador Kalogeropoulos, Sonia Charalambides-Divani, an architect and Professor Emeritus from the School of Architecture at the Metrovio in Athens, Ms. Eleni Kostopoulou, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs at the Embassy of Greece to Rome, Ms. Maria Migadi, an art historian and art advisor, Ifigenia Botsaki, curator of the Anthony Komninos Foundation, Sotirios Felios, a prominent attorney and art collector in Greece, Maritza Fasianou, the co-founder of the Alekos Fasianos estate, Yorgos Stamboulis, the CEO and founder of Artvolt, and last but not least, Petros Xenakis, who we're very honored to have here today because he is an artist who is exhibited pieces of his art at this exhibit. So we're very honored to have you, Mr. Xenakis. And I would just like to give a special thanks to our executive director, Alexandra Mentzakis, who is indispensable in organizing and producing these events, and also to Ms. Maria Migadi, who did a tremendous amount of work and selfless effort to produce this event for us. So thank you very much. So, and I would like to now pass the torch to Ms. Alexandra Mentzakis, who is going to read a welcome letter from Minister Dendias.
Hello, everyone. I would also like to welcome you to the virtual tour of the exhibition entitled Society of Persons. Allow me now to read the message from His Excellency, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Minister Dendias, who unfortunately is unable to join us live today. Αξιότιμες κυρίες, αξιότιμοι κύριοι, αποτελεί ιδιαίτερη χαρά να επευθύνομαι σήμερα σε εσάς, την επαύριον των εορτασμών για την εθνική μας εορτή, με αφορμή τα εγγένεια της διαδικτυακής έκθεσης της Εθνικής Πινακοθήκης «Κοινωνία προσώπων, η αποτύπωση της ανθρώπινης μορφής από τη μεταβυζαντινή τέχνη στη νεοελληνική ζωγραφική». Με αυτή την ευκαιρία θα ήθελα να συγχαρώ το Προεδρείο και τα μέλη του Ελληνοαμερικάνικου Εμπορικό Επιμελητηρίο για την αξιέπαινη πρωτοβουλία σας. Ειδικότερα η επιλογή σας να αναδείξετε πέρα από το στενό πυρήνα των ελληνικών επιχειρημάτων, δυνατοτήτων, τον εθνικό πλούτο της πολιτιστικής δημιουργίας, όπως αποτυπώνεται στη συγκεκριμένη έκθεση. Υπογραμμίζει την πολυδιάστατη δραστηριότητα του επιμελητηρίου σας ως φορέα προώθησης του ελληνικού επιχειρήν αλλά και του ελληνικού πνεύματος ευρύτερα στις ΗΠΑ. Επιπλέον, η προβολή της έκθεσης με ψηφιακή τρόπο αναδείκνει κατά το καλύτερο τρόπο τη δυναμική είσοδο της Ελλάδος στη ψηφιακή εποχή. Κατά τούτο σημαδοτείται κατά το πλέον ελπιδοφόρο τρόπο την έναρξη του τρίτου αιώνα του νέου ελληνικού κράτους. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to point out a few features of the exhibition that I had the opportunity to inaugurate during my visit in the Vatican last November. The concept of the portrait of the ordinary individual emerges in Hellenized Egypt in the form of the famous Fayum portraits. These were funerary portraits of intensely transcendental character dating back to the 1st century AD. This is exactly where the great tradition of European portrait painting begins, which runs through the present day from Titianus' apprentice El Greco to our great metaphysician Giorgio de Chirico, born in Volos. If there is any power in art, it is the power to dissolve boundaries and connect the unconnected in a great universal culture. Furthermore, the exhibition highlights the defining role of light and color in carving and shaping the face of Greeks who were engaged in an ever-evolving society and adapt to significant historical political changes. Αγαπητές κυρίες, αγαπητοί κύριοι, σας καλωσορίζω για ακόμα μια φορά στην έκθεση και σας εύχομαι να απολαύσετε την εμπειρία της εικονικής ξενάγησης. My apologies for the Greek. Προσπαθούμε όσο μπορούμε. We thank His Excellency. I now return the word to our President, Athasioannou.
Thank you. Thank you, Alexandra.
Enjoy.
Thank you, Alexandra. And thanks to Minister Dendias and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for participating in this manner. We truly appreciate these words. And now we are going to immediately start the tour. So please enjoy. And that will be immediately followed by His Excellency, the Ambassador, who will introduce the panel and continue on with the event. Thank you very much.
Βρισκόμαστε στο Παλάτσο della Cancelleria, ένα μέγαρο του Βατικανού, στο ιστορικό κέντρο της Ρώμης και βρισκόμαστε ειδικότερα στην έκθεση της νεοελληνικής ζωγραφικής «Κοινωνία προσώπων, η απεικόνιση της ανθρώπινης μορφής», η οποία εγκαινιάστηκε την Δευτέρα 8 Νοεμβρίου από τον Υπουργό των Εξωτερικών, κύριο Νίκο Δένδια, και αποτελεί διοργάνωση της Πρεσβείας της Ελλάδος στην Αγία Έδρα. Γιατί γίνεται αυτή η έκθεση? Για να γιορτάσουμε δύο επετείους σημαντικές, τα 40 χρόνια από την πρώτη ανταλλαγή πρέσβεων μεταξύ της Ελληνικής Δημοκρατίας και της Αγίας Έδρας. Και βεβαίως η άλλη μεγάλη επέτειος είναι τα 200 χρόνια της Ελληνικής Επανάστασης, τα 200 χρόνια του ελεύθερου ελληνικού κράτους. Γιατί η πρεσβεία πρότεινε και επελέγει αυτό το θέμα, η απεικόνιση της ανθρώπινης μορφής, διότι είναι η ανθρώπινη μορφή χαρακτηριστικό δείγμα, χαρακτηριστικό γνώρισμα του τρόπου που ο ελληνορωμαϊκός κόσμος βλέπει τον άνθρωπο, η απεικόνιση. Κατά συνέπεια, σκεφτήκαμε για να δώσουμε ένα στοιχείο κίνησης, μετάβασης, να αρχίσουμε την εξιστόρησή μας από την ιστεροβυζαντινή εποχή, από τις ιστεροβυζαντινές εικόνες, διότι αυτά τα πρότυπα, αυτά τα πρόσωπα των Αγίων είχαν οι ζωγράφοι μας κατά νου όταν ξεκινούσε η ζωή του ελεύθερου ελληνικού κράτους. Μετά ήρθαν σε επαφή με τα κέντρα της Δύσεως, εκεί είδαν και γνώρισαν τα μεγάλα ρεύματα της εποχής τους, τα καλλιτεχνικά, και μπόρεσαν να προσαρμοστούν σε αυτά, να τα υιοθετήσουν και σε μια μεταγενέστερη φάση να τους δώσουν τα έντονα στοιχεία ελληνικότητας. Οι πίνακες, οι ζωγράφοι που εκπροσωπούνται είναι όλα τα μεγάλα μας ονόματα, από τον Λίτρα και παλιότερα, από τον Τσόκο στον Γίζη, στον Λίτρα, στον Γιώργιο Ιακωβίδη, στον Κωνσταντίνο Παρθένη, και στους νεότερους, στον Μπουζιάννη, στον Βασιλείου, στον Τέτση, στον Μόραλη, στον Τσόκλι, στον Μπότσογλου, στον Μποκόρο και ούτω καθεξής. Δεν θέλω να παραλείψω κάποια ονόματα. Αυτό λοιπόν είναι το κόνσεπτ αυτής της πρώτης μεγάλης έκθεσης ζωγραφικής που φιλοξενείται στην αιωνία πόλη για να δείξει τι μπορεί να προσφέρει και τι προσέφερε η νεοελληνική τέχνη στη γενικότερη πορεία της ευρωπαϊκής τέχνης.
Γεια σας, ονομάζομαι Μαρία Μιγάδη, είμαι ιστορικός τέχνης και εικαστική σύμβουλος. Μαζί θα ξαναγηθούμε σε μια υπέροχη έκθεση που βρίσκεται στο Ιστορικό Κέντρο της Ρώμης, σε ένα κτίριο του Βατικανού, στο Palazzo della Cancelleria. Το θέμα της έκθεσης είναι η κοινωνία προσώπων. The exhibition begins with the icons of the Post-Byzantine era. As Miss Olga Mentzafou mentions in the text of the catalogue of the exhibition, it is commonly believed that icons of the Post-Byzantine era had a great impact in the development of modern Greek art painting. Masterpieces of the 16th, 17th and 18th centuries, like Madre della Consolazione, ornament the first room of the exhibition. It is noteworthy that all icons are both reminiscent of the Maniera Greca and the Maniera Latina. The first paintings that we contemplate are paintings from the Ionian Islands. Then we move to wonderful masterpieces by Dionysios Tsokos. For instance, the portrait of Anagnostis Alexandropoulos, which was painted in 1858. Tsokos was an artist who studied in Venice in the School of Fine Arts under the tutor Lodovico Liparini. As we move towards the second room of the exhibition, we contemplate wonderful paintings by artists who lived in Paris and Munich, like Nikolaos Gyzis, Nikiforos Litras, Georgios Iakovidis, Periklis Pandazis, and many others. In the final room of the exhibition, we move towards modern and contemporary Greek art. It was an exhibition with 3 rooms that were very different, but also so close to each other that we had the inclination to move forward and backward and realize how Greeks were always not only Greeks, but also international artists. A great example is our renowned painter Periklis Pandazis, born in 1849 and died in 1884. Pandazis, after a short stay in Paris, lived in Belgium, and there he became part of pre-impressionistic movements in the scope of a more realistic perception. Ionian society was ready to receive transformations in the early 19th century. There were close links with Italy and especially Venice, Rome and Naples. As Dr. Mentzafou mentions in her text, there were various artists that studied in Italy, and when they came back to Greece, they brought the influences of Italy to their country. In the second room of the exhibition, we were able to admire wonderful artworks by Konstantinos Parthenis, a renowned and central figure in the Greek history of art. Parthenis came very close to modern artistic movements in Vienna as well as in Paris, and when he came back to Greece, he was able to create artworks ahead of his era. Wandering through the wonderful building of Palazzo della Cancelleria, we were all very honored to look at artworks by Greek artists that were able to stand in an international level. For instance, in this portrait of Ioanna Lourou, Yannis Moralis tends towards the classical ideal, and it seems that he is looking for the harmony between contemplation, passion, lyricism, and deep internal thinking. The curator of the show, Dr. Olga Mentzafou, was very successful, among other things, to gather artworks from prominent public and private collections. One of my favorite parts in the exhibition was the wall that was an homage to the Fayoum. The great teacher Fotis Kontoglou began to revive the Fayoum tradition in the early 20th century, and he began a trend that was followed by prominent artists like Nikolaou, Tsarouchis, Nikos Engonopoulos, Nikos Hadjikyriakos Gikas, George Mavroidis, and many others. One of the most emblematic artworks of the exhibition was a painting by Yannis Tsarouchis. The design for month of May, painted in 1966. Another captivating painting is Myrsini by Christos Bokoros, painted in 2008 from the Sotiris Felios collection. Christos Bokoros was born in 1956 and studied painting in the School of Fine Art in Athens. His artwork is exhibited in the third and final room of the exhibition, and among the paintings that we admire, we have masterpieces by George Roris, by Dimitris Mitaras, by Alekos Fascianos, by Dimitris Zouroudis, by Petros Xenakis, Eduardo Sakayan, Kostas Tsoklis, Chronis Botsoglou, and Yannis Psychopedis. Myrsini stands vibrant in between the portraits of Kostas Tsoklis, my mother, and Petros Xenakis, Eleftherios Venizelos. Kostas Tsoklis, my mother, is an artwork that came from the National Gallery of Greece, and Eleftherios Venizelos by Petros Xenakis is a portrait that ornaments the royal suite of the Hotel Grand Britannia in Athens, belonging to the private collection of Athanasios Laskaridis. Petros Xenakis studied painting in the Academy of Fine Arts in Rome, and his main tutor was Alessandro Trotti. After graduating in 1979, he moved back to Greece, bringing the influences of Italy in his hometown, as many other Greek artists did before him in previous eras. Another captivating portrait in the third and final room of the exhibition is the portrait of Miss Marina Lambraki Plaka, the director of the National Gallery, by the renowned artist Dimitris Mitaras. A very interesting and touching, in my humble opinion, detail of this show is the fact that Alekos Phasianos, the myth of contemporary Greek art, participated, and this was the last exhibition that he participated while being alive. Alekos Phasianos was born in 1935 and passed away very recently in 2022. He was a student of Yannis Moralis in the School of Fine Art in Athens, and afterwards he continued his studies in Paris. He is considered one of the most important Greek artists throughout the eras. It has been very honoring for all of us who took part in the organization of this show to realize that although Greece is mostly known as the cradle of civilization and as a star of the ancient times, that this DNA, that this light, this creativity has lived throughout the centuries.
Hello, everyone. Before we continue with the tour, I would just like to give and I hope you enjoyed the video tour. I would just like to give a special welcome again and thanks to His Excellency Ambassador Kalogeropoulos, not only for creating this exhibit, but for participating with us today with his wonderful introduction and his overseeing of the event. And thank you very much. It's an honor for us, Ambassador. And now I will pass it to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, AFES. Thank you to all participants and to those who listen and watch us in this Zoom. I'm not going to repeat what I said at the beginning of the presentation shot in Rome back in November. I just wanted to, first of all, express my immense joy for reviving, so to say, this remarkable event some months later through this Zoom. And I wish to thank the Hellenic-American Chamber for giving us this opportunity. Then I would also like to thank also on this occasion all those who participated and helped me, because this was a collective endeavor. It was not nothing, I mean, individual, to bring this event to life. As it was said, it is the very first time that Greek painting was shown in Italy, to my knowledge, and to the Holy See. The Italian public is familiar with the literary output. They have a very strong cultural, classical education in the Licei Classici. They learn ancient Greek. Due to the vicinity of the two countries, the closeness, they come to Greece, they know the contemporary life, but painting is something that I think was not known. We got this idea to celebrate these 2 anniversaries that I spoke about, and to actually to show, to stage this show of cultural diplomacy, because that's what it is about. And this cultural diplomacy, I think, was appreciated by the foreign ministry and the foreign minister himself, Mr. Dendias, who came over to Italy, to Rome, to inaugurate in person this event. So again, I want to thank all our sponsors, without whose financial support this event could never have taken place. And again and again, all my collaborators in the team that brought about this event. Thank you very much.
If I may, I was thinking it would be perhaps an interesting idea to scroll down the catalog of the exhibition, which was wonderfully curated by the curator of the exhibition. So, if we're all okay, I'd like to share screen and show you our beautiful catalog.
Yes. Allow me, Maria, to, this is a very useful suggestion, but I would like also to present those who participate in this panel discussion. So let me put on my spectacles. We have Mrs. Sonia Charalambides-Divani, architect, professor emeritus, School of Architecture at the Metzovian Polytechnic School, whose contribution to present, to hang, to find the place of the paintings is really was very inspiring. Then Mrs. Eleni Kostopoulou, who works at the Embassy of Greece to Italy, the other diplomatic mission that Greece has in Rome, who was also very active in promoting, creating awareness about the event constantly, and who was also helpful in facilitating, the search for sponsors. Mrs. Maria Migadi, whom we have just heard, and she was instrumental in also in facilitating the sponsoring of the event, as well as again working with the media to secure that this event was properly reflected in the media, in the Greek media, and in the case of the Hellenic-American chamber, of course. Then we have here with us Mrs. Evgenia Botzaki, curator at the Anthony Komnenos Foundation. Welcome. Mr. Sotiris Felios, who needs no introduction. He's a prominent art collector here in Greece. Marisa Fasianou, who is not present, but whose message will be read out by Mrs. Migadi in a minute. And then we have Mr. Yorgos Stamboulis, founder of Art Vault. Welcome to you as well. He was present also at the inauguration ceremony in Rome, if I remember well. So thank you all, and let's have the next step, which is reading out the two messages from Mrs. Kostopoulou and from who is the other one? Maria, do help me, please.
Miss Marisa Fasianou.
Mrs. Marisa Fasianou, yes, of course. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so the first one is from Miss Eleni Kostopoulou. She is sorry about reasons beyond, dear all, I'm very sorry, but reasons beyond my control prevent me from being with you. Therefore, please accept a few words from the bottom of my heart on the occasion of this absolutely successful exhibition. An exhibition that, in addition to the importance of its exhibits, absolutely marks the richness of our cultural heritage and the unlimited possibilities of our country to promote it, not only in Europe, but all over the world. I'm very happy and also proud that my idea for this exhibition was well received and implemented in such a short time, and I wish to express my gratitude to all those who contributed in one way or another to its absolute success. Allow me not to mention each of them by name, as long as I consider their contribution equally important. However, I will make a special reference to our Minister, the Honorable Mr. Nikos Dendias, who embraced this initiative and even honored the exhibition by inaugurating it. I hope that there will be other similar initiatives and that the cultural promotion of our country will continue in all the latitudes and longitudes of the globe. Sincerely yours, Eleni Kostopoulou. And a second message is by Ms. Marisa Fasianou, the co-founder of the Alekos Fasianos estate. I will read it in Greek. Χαιρετίζουμε την ωραία και καλωστημένη έκθεση στην εμβληματική αίθουσα του Παλάτσο de la Cancelleria. Η έκθεση αποτελεί ακόμα μια απόδειξη ότι η παρθενογένεση στην τέχνη δεν υπάρχει. Η μία εποχή με την άλλη ενώνονται σαν μια αλυσίδα που δεν διακόπτεται, αλλά απλά αλλάζει τρόπο έκφρασης. Από τις εικόνες της Βυζαντινές ή τα αυστηρά πορτρέτα, μέχρι τον εξπρεσιονισμό, στην ανθρωποκεντρική τέχνη, ο στόχος του καλλιτέχνη είναι ο ίδιος. Η απόδοση της προσωπικότητας του απεικονιζομένου, τα συναισθήματα, η έκφραση, το μήνυμα που θέλει να περάσει. Ανεξαρτήτως εποχής, ιστορικών γεγονότων, αισθητικής ή τρόπου ζωγραφικής. Αυτή η σύνδεση προσώπων από διαφορετικές ιστορικές περιόδους δημιουργεί την κοινωνία προσώπων, όπως πολύ εύστοχα είναι και ο τίτλος της έκθεσης. Γίνονται όλοι σύγχρονοι, αφού τελικά έχουν ίδια χαρακτηριστικά και η δημιουργική έκφραση στρέφεται πάντα γύρω από τον άνθρωπο. Από αυτόν ξεκινά και σε αυτόν καταλήγει. Στις πολυπληθείς συζητήσεις με τον σύζυγό μου, συχνά αναφερόταν στη σπουδαιότητα της ανθρωποκεντρικής ζωγραφικής. Είναι σημαντική για το θεατή, συνήθιζε να λέει, γιατί μπορεί να προβάλλει την δική του ύπαρξη μέσα από το έργο που βλέπει. Μηχανικά ψάχνει για κοινά στοιχεία ή διαφορές με τον απεικονιζόμενο. Αυτό είναι σαν διάλογος που μπορεί να οδηγεί στην αυτογνωσία. Και ποιο άλλο είναι σημαντικότερο για μια ωραία ζωή από την αυτογνωσία? Εύχομαι καλή θέαση και άλλες τέτοιες εκπαιδευτικές και αισθητικά όμορφες εκθέσεις. Μαρίζα Φασιανού.
Briefly, if I may interject here, we have on the screen, I hope is visible to all those who watch this Zoom, those in Greek and in English, those who, the sponsors that helped make this, this exhibition a reality. I wish to thank them again and again and again.
Okay, so
sorry, Maria, it's a pity that Mrs. The curator of the exhibition, Dr. Olga Mentzafou is not with us tonight. Greek time today for you in New York, because without her, this exhibition would never have achieved this scientific, I mean, fullness and perfection. She managed to have all major figures practically of 2 centuries of Greek painting represented in this show. This is a feat of incomparable importance, I think, and I wish to thank her also on this occasion for her truly invaluable contribution. Thank you very much, Mrs. Mentzafou, again and again. Now, do we proceed? Do the other participants want to take the floor?
I just got a message from Mr. Mitsakis, and she asked me to pass some of the questions to our panelists. So the first one is for Ms. Divani. The question is, how was setting up a show in an old Italian palazzo? What were the challenges and rewards?
First, I would like to express my pleasure to participate at this event again. I would like to stress again that the organization of this exhibition was a great occasion to present abroad modern and contemporary Greek art. And I think this is an aspect that is important, and I would like to stress it again. So, of course, it's a great challenge to express the concept of the exhibition in such a particular building with the Vasari legacy also. The museological concept that Dr. Olga Mentzafou defined aimed to reflect upon the history of Greek art and creation according to the evolution of the visions of society and aspects of the aesthetic movements in the the evolution of Greek painting, thus organizing the works in a synthesis of major currents. And the monumental symbolic building was to host the exhibition in an area of a series of formally defined small rooms where we had to organize in the existing spaces the display of the distinctive themes of the different artistic expressions of the grouping of the works according to the museological program, conserving the chronological order of the paintings in a dialogue between art and the architecture of the building. It was a great challenge, as I said.
Thank you.
And I hope that the visitors would have visiting the exhibition a real experience and pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Divani. The next question, Mr. Ambassador, I believe is for you. What was the impact of the show to the Italian crowd? Did you have many visitors?
Well, the exhibition ran for less than a month, from the 8th of November, that was the inauguration night, not initially planned until the 8th of December, but we had to cut it shorter on the 6th, I think, of December, because of the fear of a strike of harbor workers, port workers in Greece. So, and let me remind you that it was in the time of the pandemic, of course, so restricting the movement of people within their own city, and averting and discouraging others from visiting places for the fear of crowds. Despite these constraints, we had satisfactory attendance, and both from Italians and from Greeks that visited Rome in this pre-Christmas, pre-festive period. I'm referring to Italians, as you asked me, because we all know that the the exhibition took place and was co-organized under the auspices of the Holy See, of the state of the Vatican state, in view of the highly important visit of Pope Francis to Greece that followed less than a month after the inauguration of the exhibition. But as we all know, the Vatican is the smallest state in the world, with only 800 regular citizens, so to say, and therefore you can never expect them to archbishops, cardinals, and high church officials to flock in an exhibition like that. But there were many visitors, many Italian citizens and other foreigners. Also, we organized the diplomatic corps, representatives of the diplomatic corps to the Holy See to visit. And we were helped in that by influential newspapers like La Repubblica that published a 2-page article with pictures of the exhibition, and other papers, and the state television, RAI. So it was given all these aspects, it was a very well visited event. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. There are quite a lot of questions coming in the chat, but I was thinking perhaps we should introduce our panel, and I would like to ask by inviting Mr. Felios to talk to us a little bit about his art collection, and then I have a question for you. How easy do you get your paintings to go to international shows? What is the feeling to see them in such a building?
It was a kind of adventure. First of all, I'd like to say that the choice done by Mrs. Mentzafou, and then, or before that, the great idea of Madame Kostopoulou, and your effort, Madame Migadi, and of course, under the auspices of our ambassador, gave us a feeling in this great building of the Holy Seed that the modern, let me put it so, the contemporary Greek art has nothing to lose if it compared with what we see on other occasions. It was great, but this was done because the feeling we got, it was based on the great eyes of Madame Mentzafou. That's what I want to say on this. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed twice on the opening, and then some days later, 15 days later, when I was traveling to Rome, I went back. That's
Great.
it.
Thank you. I'd just like to also introduce you to our like audience and say that you are one of the most prominent Greek art collectors, and that in your website, and if one of course visits Athens, one may see how wonderful you support the arts, and I'd like to thank you as an art historian for this. And if you wish to say something more about your collection, we would be delighted to hear.
No, tonight it's an opening to what you've arranged to see in Rome. But we're expecting from you, for all of you, a promise that something similar will happen to New York.
Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Thank you.
Thank you. There are so many questions coming. There's one from Miss Ifigenia Bodzaki. I'd like to welcome her and introduce her to our panel. She's an art historian and a curator of the Anthony Komninos collection. Mr. Komninos was one of our great donors. We're very grateful to him for his support. Ms. Bodzaki, what made you support this exhibition? Were you happy with the results?
Good afternoon to all. First, let me convey to you again our congratulations on behalf of Mr. Komninos and of the Foundation's board. First, to those who conceived the idea of this exhibition, and equally to those who made it come true. And also, of course, thank you for today's discussion, for this opportunity. From our part, we were very happy that we were able to support this cause, as we believed it held a strong symbolism, first by reinforcing the presence of Greek art and Greek artists abroad, and for bringing to the spotlight a part of the Greek culture that had not been that known and is not usually much communicated outside Greece. This strong symbolism also applies to the selection of the location for the exhibition on the basis of the interaction between the two countries, and of course between the two Orthodox religions. I was lucky enough to visit Rome and see the exhibition myself, and I must say that it was very well curated and structured, and it offered, even to the unfamiliar visitor, an overview of the most important moments in the course of Greek art through portraits. That was my view, and we were happy we were able to support. And thank you for the invitation to participate in this discussion.
Thank you. We would love to hear a few words about the aims of the foundation, and if you have any next projects coming up.
Yes,
As I
of
can see
course.
from the questions here.
Yeah, the main purpose of the foundation is to contribute and promote initiatives that are related to the areas of education, health, and primarily culture. In the past, we were more focused on the events that took place in the island of Syros, as it is the home island of the Komnenos family. But lately, and on the occasion of on the Greek Revolution, the anniversary, we kind of opened up the events, and we're hoping to continue that in the future. And I will support what Mr. Felio said, that we expect to see initiatives like that more in the future and abroad.
Thank you very much. Wow, there's a lot to read. So I think the next one is for Mr. Samboulis. George, you have founded Art Vault, an app that aims to help users navigate the contemporary art world of fairs and commercial galleries. I can see here someone, yeah, which, with all of today's hype around technology improvements, how has technology changed the art world, especially after COVID?
Maria, first of all, also from my side, thank you for having me on this panel. It's really nice because it brings back really good memories from the show back in Rome in November. And as everyone has said, it was very well structured, educational, and great experience. To answer your question on this, you know, I think Ms. Fasianos, I think Mr. Felios and Ifigenia both touched on this. It's very important for all this to be educational, to learn more about culture, give back to society and the people who want to learn about different cultures. So I think what technology has helped a lot in today's era, especially after COVID, which actually helped. So COVID actually pushed, let's say, the technology improvements and people using them more often. It gives them an extra way of educating themselves about art. So we're very big, strong advocates of, you know, people who aren't able to go to shows to read about the shows at their own time, learn about them. You know, if they don't know about an artist, they could sit down, read art. So generally, technology has allowed and enabled people to educate themselves more about something from their home or office scenario. Let's talk about it. Because before you had to go there to actually live it and be a show and miss out on a lot of cultural and educational purposes. But I think technology has changed that a lot. And with a hybrid, let's say, model going in the future, people could, you know, read about stuff, sort of video now, you know, you could explore. This wouldn't be able to be done back in the day, or wasn't used as much back in the day as it should be used today. So I think technology is going to enable our culture. And I go back to what everybody else said also, let's hope we see more of these shows in other parts of the world, because through technology, we can do this to other parts of the world and share the Greek culture and the Greek artwork abroad.
Thank you very much, George. I was thinking that all of us here are art lovers who saw the exhibition, and we have an audience that I suppose didn't. So I would like one of my questions is how would you, like with one word, how would you transmit the feeling of the show to people who didn't attend, who didn't have the chance to have a visit there? And I'd like an answer from everyone, if possible, starting from Ms. Divani, Charalambides.
It's always very important to see the works in the reality. But I think that now with the new technologies, it's also a great occasion for everybody to get acquainted to the works that otherwise they have not the possibility of seeing. And I think that we have to understand there is also different new ways of approaching the works, and that's important. I don't know what the artist would say.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ms. Charalambides. And
I may intervene on this.
Yes.
To what my beloved Madame Charalambides already said. To my opinion, everybody has to embrace with his own eyes the painting. Through other means, they have a very gloomy idea. So my comment on what happened in Rome, in the Cancelleria, is that people who didn't see it, they missed it. They have to search for an opportunity to see them back. Maybe through the video you've already presented, they may have an idea to create a catalog on how to see each of these paintings with his own eyes at a distance of 1 meter. When we see the paintings, we change the paintings and the paintings are changing us. We have to gaze, to offer a gaze from our own eyes to the paintings, not through the video. The video may be a kind of provocation in brackets to know what it's all about, but then try to search for the painting, find it, and then go and see it.
That's so touching and well said. Thank you so much, Mr. Felios. Would you like to share your thoughts with us, Mr. Ambassador?
Well, I was about to say that for me, it was, you know, the moment that it opened, I forgot all the sleepless nights and all the endless, you know, worries and concerns about how to stage such an important event of in such a scale. We are a tiny embassy there, and but the aftertaste is that of pride for what has been achieved, for the quality of Greek painting, and for the fact that in these times we showed the flag in a most accomplished and how shall I say way in the home country of European painting, to be able to show a display of Greek painting of high value and gather good, very positive comments from important people and simple visitors about the quality of the art. Greece made a true political statement, if I may say so, in Rome, primarily vis-à-vis the Holy See, but also vis-à-vis the Italian Republic. And I wish to echo what was said by other panelists before, that this effort should be deployed by colleagues of mine and Greece as a whole in other countries, because it is truly worth showing, worth going all through this effort, sometimes ungratifying efforts to organize this, but the outcome is so honorable for your country that you represent, that it's 100 times worth attempting it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ambassador. Maria, if I may, I would like to ask Mr. Xenakis to say a few words about his art, that's in the exhibit, and your art in general, and your thoughts about the exhibit overall.
I would like to point out that Petros studied in Italy. He lives in Greece. His English is not so perfect as he would wish. So perhaps he could speak in Greek, and then I can translate, or if Hathas, if you think it's okay if he speaks in Greek.
Of course. Please, Mr. Xenakis, in Greek, as you prefer, absolutely. Thank you.
Γεια σας. Χαίρομαι πάρα πολύ. Είμαι πολύ χαρούμενος με αυτή την παρουσίαση. Ήταν πάρα πολύ ωραία η έκθεση. Ήταν τιμή μου που συμμετείχα και μεγάλη μου χαρά. Εμένα η ζωγραφική μου είναι ανθρωποκεντρική και πιστεύω και όλη η ελληνική τέχνη έχει ένα βάρος στον άνθρωπο. Αυτό είναι, θα έλεγε κανείς, είναι μια παράδοση στην ελληνική τέχνη. Εμένα προσωπικά με αγγίζει, ας πούμε, και με συγκινεί η ψυχολογική διοίκηση στο να φτιάξει έναν άνθρωπο. Ζωγράφησα στο Βενιζέλο. Είναι ένα πρόσωπο εμβληματικό για εμάς τους κριτικούς. Έτυχαν συγκυρίες και έφτιαξα αυτό το πορτρέτο. Και ήταν μεγάλη μου χαρά το είδα αυτό το πορτρέτο σε ένα τόσο ωραίο χώρο.
Πέτρο, έχεις σπουδάσει στην Ιταλία. Πώς ένιωσες έτσι που επέστρεψες κατά κάποιο τρόπο στον τόπο που γαλουχήθηκες? Και βάζω εδώ μια ερώτηση δηλαδή, που σε αφορά, η οποία στα ελληνικά έχει να κάνει με το πόσο κοντά νιώθεις στους Ιταλούς καλλιτέχνες από τη στιγμή που ήταν και Ιταλός ο καθηγητής ο Αλεσάνδρου Τρότη.
Κοιτάξτε, στην ηλικία που πήγα στη Ρώμη, όταν ένα παιδί πάει στη Ρώμη 17-18 χρονών, ας πούμε, και δει τους μεγάλους ζωγράφους αυτούς, αυτό είναι ένα αποτύπωμα, του μένει ένα αποτύπωμα. Είναι κάτι που τον επηρεάζει πάρα πολύ. Πιστεύω ότι η Ιταλική τέχνη με επηρέασε πάρα πολύ, αλλά όμως έχουμε πάρα πολλά κοινά στοιχεία. Δηλαδή η Ιταλική τέχνη έχει πολλά κοινά στοιχεία με την ελληνική τέχνη. Και ιδιαίτερα με την τέχνη που αναπτύχθηκε στην Κρήτη στην περίοδο της Ενετοκρατίας. Έχουμε πάρα πολλά κοινά πράγματα και βρίσκει κανείς πράγματα έτσι που ταυτίζεται, να λέγε. Μπορώ να το πω και έτσι. Αλλά ήταν μεγάλη μου συγκίνηση, γιατί είναι σαν να γυρίσεις στον τόπο σου. Έχεις αναμνήσεις από τις σπουδές σου όλα αυτά τα πράγματα, γιατί η Ρώμη είναι μια πόλη που δεν αφήνει κανένα διάφορο, όχι μόνο να τη ζήσεις κιόλας.
Very nice. So you are from Crete, and you feel very obvious the common threads between Greek and Italian art, especially in like previous centuries. We saw in the first room of the exhibition icons that were in between the so-called Maniera Greca and Maniera Latina, and I wish I could translate everything you said, but I'd like to give the gist that you fell in awe and that you were very honored. And
Το λες πολύ καλά.
Thanks. I think that we still haven't heard the answers of how you would describe the exhibition with one word from Mr. Stamboulis and from Ms. Bodzaki. So I'd like to ask.
Maria, so I'll take that right now then. Yeah. Stepping foot in that room in the Vatican was spectacular. So for me, it was emotional. You know, being a young collector myself, walking in there, seeing all these important pieces of artwork there, all in saying a story, walking through each room and actually saying a story, and this all comes back to how well curated it was it's like a dream. You know, you as a young collector, you want every single one of those pieces in your collection, and you just have to live with the idea of admiring them and thanking people who own these artwork and sharing them. So everything for me was emotional when I was there, and today brings back those memories. So again, thank you for organizing that.
Thank you for being there and supporting us with your presence.
Yes, so I would like to say that, of course, nothing compares to seeing a work of art in person, but technology surely can help. And I hope that the video that you saw us today would be available and will be communicated so it could touch more people. Moreover, its work is like a window and allows us to see storylines and history lines. So by observing a work, we become aware of how circumstances and social conditions have an impact on art. But the most important thing for me is that by observing a work of art again and again can lead to a journey of self-awareness. And that was something that exhibition was actually able to offer. So I'm grateful I was able to see it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And since you mentioned, like it's very well said, that with this video, we will be able to share our thoughts, like I would say, poetically, eternally. I'd like to mention our sponsors by name, because we've thanked them various times. But we didn't thank them by name. And in order to be able to have more exhibitions, we need sponsors because these shows are quite expensive. And, you know, you have the production of the catalog, the shipping of the paintings. We were very grateful to Move Art. They did a wonderful job, and to Peak Advertising, Move Art was the company that transported the paintings, Peak Ad. It was the company that printed the catalog. But I'd like to thank them. I'd like to thank all our sponsors by name. Mr. Anthony Komninos, Mr. Panos Laskaridis. Mr. Komninos is the founder of the Anthony Komninos Foundation. Mr. Panos Laskaridis is the president of Ekaterini Laskaridis Foundation. We'd like also to thank Ms. Susanna Laskaridis, the General Secretary of the Ekaterini Laskaridis Foundation, Mr. Yannis Tournaras and Ms. Christina Papakostadinu from the Bank of Greece, Mr. Athanasios Laskaridis and Ms. Evi Lazou from the Athanasios Laskaridis Charitable Foundation, Mr. Angelakos Evangelos of the shipping company of Angelakos Hellas, the foundation of John Latsis, Mr. Petros Kalantzis and Ms. Eva Lianou, the foundation of Maria Tsakos, the foundation of A.G. Leventis, and Keeper. I don't know, Mr. Kalogeropoulos, if you'd like to add something on this.
No, I mean, you did very well to mention them by name, because our gratitude is due to them that believed in this idea and in this vision of ours, and accepted to, to help us financially. Again, it is a very successful example of cooperation, people and institutions believing in this idea, this proposal, and at the end of the day, I think it sounds perhaps too idealistic, but I still have to say it. It reflects on the country, it reflects on Greece, and in these difficult times of the pandemic, in having bearing in mind what has suffered our country from the 10-year financial crisis, and to be able to bounce back and show all this wealth of cultural outcome, of pictorial outcome, fills one with pride. And I think that as people who were there, like Petros Xenakis, like Mrs. Botsaki, I just heard that, Mr. Stamboulis, Mr. Felios, of course, and certainly Mrs. Charalambides-Divani, and the other people who helped and contributed to that event. This is the gist of what was the feeling, to be able to project such a flattering image of your country and attract attention for your national, for your country's painting in the capital of world painting. Let's not forget where it was shown. Just a small technical detail, some people have referred rightly to the magnificence of the Palazzo della Cancelleria that reflects the overall magnificence of papal Rome, etc. Certainly not these three halls where the exhibition was presented are the ones, all of who referred to this building know the halls where the actual ceremony took place in the first floor, and they are painted, wall painted from floor to ceiling, more than 6 meters, 7 meters high, by artists, great wall painting. And one particular hall is painted by Giorgio Vasari, one famous 16th century Italian painter. So the memorable event, was magnified by how shall I say, the framework in which it took place. Again, from my side, I wish to thank humbly all those who contributed, and to repeat that it was a collective endeavor, and I'm most grateful to all of us and to the Hellenic-American Chamber of Commerce for organizing this event. Thank you, all of you. I feel really very proud and satisfied for what has been achieved. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Dear Athos, would you like to take over?
Thank you, Mariam. I would just want to say thank you to everyone involved in this. The Chamber is very proud to put on these types of events. They're real, they're very unique and a real pleasure for everyone in our community, especially being in the United States, to be able to connect with Greece and with Rome and with all of you in this way. And I just want to thank everyone who participated in this and who made such a wonderful event. And please keep in touch with the Chamber and for future events that we'll be presenting. And thank you very much.